Hello, dear children. How are you? Hope everybody must be safe and sound, keeping good health. Welcome to another session of history. Dear children, the next topic today is establishing the republic. We have done that. Sun Yat sen was the leader of China who wanted to establish republic, socialism, and democracy in China. So, under his leadership, the nationalism began to develop. So, as a result, many times this nationalism turned to be revolution. So, the revolutionaries they were asked for driving out the foreigners, to control natural resources, to remove inequalities and reduce poverty. So these revolutionaries, these nationalists, they wanted to put an end to the foreign rule and they wanted to establish their own rule because of the colonial part. There were the inequalities, there was a poverty, the natural resources were exploited by these colonial people. So as a result, they wanted to put an end to the British rule or the colonial rule. Next, the revolutionary advocated reforms, use of simple language. They wanted the local language, the Chinese language should be used, abolish foot binding and female subordination, equality in marriage, economic development, because they had realized that until unless they would not remove the inequalities in the society, they would not be able to progress. So as a result, they were in the favor of the removal of the inequalities and also wanted to make the economic development. Sun Yat-sen's ideas based on the four great needs: clothing, food, housing, and transportation. Sun Yat-sen, he believed that when all these four things would be available to the human being, so he would not go wrong. So as a result, the main aim was to provide the food, shelter, clothes and the transportation, because in earn to livelihood it was very necessary that he should have the transport. As a result, he should be able to go from one place to another place. So he had given his focus was on clothing, food, housing and transportation. Next, establishing the republic. After the Republican Revolution, the country entered a period of turmoil. So there were the changes in China. So when the Republican Revolution was started, the Kuomintang, the National People's Party, came into the power, and the CCP emerged as major forces which was striving to unite the country and bring stability. So under under the CCP and the National People's Party, so the movement for the independence of China was started. So they wanted to unite the people, they wanted to bring the stability in their country. So next is the Kuomintang party. Sun Yat-sen's idea became the basis of the political philosophy of the Kuomintang. They put forward four great needs: food, housing, clothing, and transportation. Because Kuomintang, after the death of Sun Yat-sen, Chiang Kai-shek emerged as the leader. He was the leader of the Kuomintang, Chiang Kai-shek. So Chiang Kai-shek, he launched a military campaign to control the warlords, regional leaders, to eliminate the communists, because he was of opinion that until unless the people, those who were helping the colonial past, they could not be able to achieve the independence and they would not be able to make the peace in their country. Peace in the sense they could not be able to bring the stability in their country. So he sought to militarize the nation. He encouraged women to cultivate the four virtues of charities, appearance, speech, and work. Because he was the opinion where when the men would fight at the war front, then the women they would work on the fields. So and recognize their role as confined to the household. Clear? So they should not be only confined within the four wall. They should come out and they should work. So next, we know that Chiang Kai-shek, he played an important role to bring the changes in China. The Kuomintang's social base was in urban areas, so it was not separate to the interior parts of the country, or you can say the rural economy. The urban workers, particularly women, earned very low wages, working hours were long, and conditions were very bad. So Chiang Kai-shek, he fought for these people also, for the industrialists, industrial workers, because the working conditions were unhealthy. They had to work long hours, low wages were there, compensation was not there, medical facilities were not there. So he was working for them. Social and cultural change was helped along by the spread of schools and universities. Journalism flourished. The popular Live Weekly edited the Zoo to Fan was too famous, introduced to readers new ideas and leaders like Gandhiji, Mustafa Kamal Pasha. So, as a result, with the growth of the knowledge, with the growth of the education, the literature of the other countries began to influence the Chinese, which had inspired the Chinese to fight for their country, and they should fight for the liberation. So, China in 1928, a national government was set up by the Kuomintang, and Chiang Kai shek was elected as its president. But the government failed in all respect its narrow social base, because it was not separate to all the parts of the country. It was only limited to the urban areas, and they had neglected the peasantry, because they were fighting, they were working only for the improvement development of the industrial workers. So they did not consider the rising inequality, naturally failed to implement the socialist concept of Dr. San, because Dr. Sun Sen, he wanted to remove the inequalities in the societies, whereas Chiang Kai-shek, he was working only for the industrial workers. So instead of solving the popular issue, Chiang Kai-shek tried to impose the military rule, which was not liked by the people, by the countrymen. So as a result, the Chiang Kai-shek's government could not get success, and it was failed. Thank you, dear children. That's all for today.